I will leave you with another question. You just can't get this, you will not know this unless you actually go out there and do some measurements and figures it. And if you do it and get the right answer, then you will be a smarter person for it. On this engine right here, running at the recommended Maytag specification, if you put the tachometer here, you check the RPM, and it is on a factory spec. The question is going to be, what is this fixed setting on this? How many degrees before or after dead center is the correct answer? How many with this fixed position? You can't move it. On this particular engine right here, someone, I didn't do this, they took a chisel punch and a hammer, made a mark on it. It's perfect in line with this keyway over here, which positions, if you turn this, you turn that. It turns pretty easy. There ain't no compression in there right now. The only friction you have on this whole engine is the friction between the cylinders and the piston rings. And if you remember, we put new rings in this engine, but the cylinders was wore an excessive amount. And I did have to, and it's got the weak thread in yonder, been the screw on both sides. But that is one of the, it's the correct cylinder for this year model. It does not have the cutout right here. The newer model's got a cutout right yonder. They're interchangeable. You can put one on one side, one on the other side if you want to, or put these up on the new one and put the new ones down here. You can do all that. The subject is, you don't have to go over yonder. The flywheel's on there and everything, and whoever owned this engine, for some reason, needed to know where this timing was at. It corresponds with this hole, and that thing yonder to put it at top dead center. Y'all watch this. I'm going to leave you with something. Being that this timing is fixed on this, the only adjustment you can make over there is point gap. That's important too. Especially when you have a weak coil, you need to be closing that gap up a little bit. The timing mark here corresponds with the top dead center, but let me show you something. You see this piece of thing here? I'm going to put it up in yonder. On the top of that piston where that little hole is, and I'm going to turn this. Y'all see this right here? Okay, I can hold on to this, and I can turn this to where it, on the direction of travel, I can turn this to where it reaches top dead center. That means that it has came forward as much as it can. It can't come no more. That's it. So it's maxed out. I'm holding pressure on the piston lightly with the two fingers here. This right here is lined up. When I came around on the direction of travel, this right here came around and the piston comes to the opposite center. Okay, now what we have to deal with is how bad your engine's wore is the, you can understand that rather than some technical. It's how bad your engine is worn. If your wrist pin is worn bad, or your big end of your rod's worn bad, your bushings are worn, just total sloppiness in all of the areas that it can be, up to the maximum where the engine is still run, but it's borderline. So many of them are running at that point. But anyways, you come around here like this right here to where that comes up to top dead center on your piston. Both of them is supposed to be in the same place if nothing is wore excessive on the other end. It would be under compression at this point, up to the point of any movement whatsoever past this dead center. Any movement past that starts on the downward arc of the compression. So when that comes on around, if you will observe, I move that more than 1/2 of an inch, bordering on 3/4, before I could feel any backward travel on the piston. Meaning that the rod came forward when it was pushing against it. Okay, it was top dead center. No more. This is brilliant. I'm glad y'all are getting this lesson. When that wrist pin comes up there in that hole and it's top dead center, okay, all the movement in this engine before it takes up that play in that hole, it's worn this much to 3 different places. So there's a lot of play in it. When you get to that point, then you have to wait so many, this right here will be way over here before it even starts on the backward exhaust stroke. Okay, when you get to the bottom, dead center down there, when you get down there, that whole thing starts over again. So you've got play this way and comes up there. The more your engine is worn, the more you have to move the timing. Timing has to be moved. In this situation right here, everything is pinned. It can move that many degrees into sloppiness. This is fixed. It'll be tight. Nothing will move. Points are on the permanent pivot. So you cannot make an adjustment on a 2-cylinder without modifying something. Comments?